Well, I'm mudding up the bottom of the door on the El Camino, finally. Should the hell with it. Probably going to be pretty thick. Bondo glass, basically the same as door glass. Forgot about, on the hardener, you want to knead it before you squirt some in there, because it gets the watery part on there too. Forgot about some of those old tricks, man. It sits around a little while, you want to knead it. Mix it up, mix up that hardener, also mix up the resin. Before you put the next coat on there, you want to blow it off with air, get all the dust off. I think I already did, but do it again. And with this, I use a spatula, and the best thing actually is a thin piece of sheet metal or even plastic. Plastic is pretty good if you got a nice thick some kind of plastic like that, like the squeegee, so you can break it off of and clean it off. But I'm using a piece of tile. It's not bad. But I use a spatula to mix it, and then use the squeegee to apply it. A lot of people just use the squeegee to mix and apply. You really should use a spatula to mix, and then you apply it with this. This way it's thoroughly, you don't have any parts of it where there's no hardener mixed in there, because it could be just the resin stuck on the spatula and you got a problem. It's going to be on there pretty thick, but it ain't going nowhere. And before you put the next coat, you got to either sand it down or grind it down. Used 80 grit with the electric DA sander, dual action. The electric 80 grit works pretty good. And get some hardener on there. It's about 70 degrees. Probably don't need that much. Well, that's plenty. Mix it up. Thorough color. Get it all mixed up nice. One color and apply it up. Well, that's mudded up, and this is going to be the final coat I'm going to use with the fiberglass, or Bondo glass, or Dynaglass, whatever you want to call it. Freaking bullshit names. Fiberglass reinforced plastic. That's really what the hell it is. It's not fiberglass, but I'll just put a couple coats of Bondo on it. Call it a day. After that, the D8 is down. Yeah, it's going to dry pretty quick. And it has the door on the bottom kind of goes like this. There's like an indentation. That was kind of a pain in the ass. There's an indentation right here. I kind of made that in there. Doesn't come out perfect. I don't give a shit. It's way down in the bottom. It's a light color. But there's not going to be any rust. There's new metal in there. And I'm going to coat the inside of it really good. Then after this is done, do this little spot up here. I'm going to use just a 3M panel adhesive to fill this in. I'm going to put a plate over that, dimple it down. I'm not going to weld. I'm not going to take this off and weld around here. And I'll spray up in there with the rust converting primer with that special wand that I got off that can. I'll show you what I mean. Again, I made this off my, well, it's a wand like this. You can spray way in there and it would curve, except I'll be using this stuff, rust reformer, on the inside of that. Then when I do that, I can go to this side. I'll turn this whole thing around, check all the fluids in it before I bring it down off the jack stand, turn it around, then I'll work on the other side. Then the only thing after that I have to do is maybe some sections on the floor. I don't know if there's any other rust on the floor. Then pull the back bumper off and do this little section back here, but this isn't too critical to me. Yeah. The next thing I want to do though is get the weather stripping for this door. I really don't give a shit about the paint. I care about as long as it's rust proofed and no rust. And I mean new metal, no rust. Well, I got my board sander here. That's actually made in USA. It's an old Chicago pneumatic, made in USA. It was almost brand new in a box, man. I said, fucking hell. As long as I keep this thing lubed with some Marble Mist Oil down like where the air goes, it should last a long time. So I put some plastic on there. Didn't get it on there really perfect. Didn't get all of it because didn't mix enough. But I'm going to go over it a few times with the board sander, and that'll be good enough for what I'm doing. The other thing is I used The new type of paper, this is like the kind that has the paper where you clip it on. The new type of paper is the self-sticking. So it's not going anywhere. It's clipped and self-sticking. I've got a big roll of it up there. This stuff. So it's tacky. Kind of like that because it's both clipped and it's on there solid as all hell. So, kind of an air hog, but this one should do it. You know, I mean, Hutchins was be the best one, but this one's not bad because it is a USA made in USA model. So you go over it like this, except with two hands. And that'll get that shit pretty smooth. Be good enough for government work. That's the way I look at it, you know. Oh, for this time, I'm going to get I'm going to use a nice thin sheet of sheet metal so I can bend it and crack the plastic off it. Clean it off a lot easier. The other thing is I'm going to use a smaller squeegee. It'll fit in here a lot better. So there's a big one I had, which is even bigger than this one. Next, you know, make sure when you sand it, you get all the shiny spots off so it's rough for the next coat of Bondo, right? And like, you know, most of it's sanded off, so I don't know how thick it is, but mostly it's fiberglass. So it ain't gonna freaking, you know, the Bondo glass. You know, now you want to blow off the dust because dust does not make good adhesion. You'll get pinholes. So blow off the dust. And mix up some more Bondo. We'll probably get it on there a lot better. Probably 2 coats and I'll be done. Then we'll prime it and paint it. Well, I got the next coat on here and it was starting to harden up already because it's kind of warm, you know. I forget exactly, I don't have that skill anymore about how much hardener to put in there. Put about the right amount. I want to make sure it's mixed up thoroughly. But when you use the spatula and that, you don't have to worry about when you're mixing it. If you're just mixing it with this, the applicator, squeegee, whatever the hell you want to call it, the plastic squeegee, you can get spots in there where it doesn't have any hardener. That's why I always mix it with this and that. I mix it with that primarily and then mix them all together really good. This way it's got no spots in it. It doesn't have hardener and, you know, it can fall out, right? That might be alright actually. I'm going to DA it. Then I'm going to go over with the board sander, do one more coat. And if there's no pinholes in it, prime it, paint it, and I'll get on the other side where the weld is, grind down the weld and put a coat of that 3M panel adhesive on here with my finger, just, you know, just to clean up the weld a little bit that's on the bottom of the door. And then I'll do that spot up here. Then I'm done with this side, except for the back. And then since I did this side, I'm not going to have a problem understanding how to do the other side. It'll go much faster. I haven't been working on this too much. It's here and there, so that's the deal. Alright, as good as I'm going to make it get. So let's throw some primer sealer on here. Rattle can, duplicate color. Some old shit too. I don't care. You know, the way I look at it is if screws up, it's only going to be Rust-Oleum, and I'll just do over whatever I got to do. But I don't think it will, because actually I've had stuff up here on the door. The only thing I didn't even sand down the checkered paint all the way. This was on the sun, beaten down for about 12 years. The paint never even came chipped off or nothing. Just chemically cleaned it with starting fluid, sanded it down, just chemically cleaned it with starting fluid again. Put some spray can primer sealer and some enamel, spray can enamel. Been on there for freaking 12 years and never freaking came off, so who cares? So next step is, this is going on it right now. Well, it's primed up, and I'm probably gonna have to do it over again. You know, I mean some more sanding and stuff, but it's a lot better than it ever was. And once I coat the inside of the door, it ain't gonna rust no more. I'm gonna put the I think when that freaking stuff should flash over pretty quick. It's getting a little cool out tonight. I want to get a coat of enamel on it, just some Rust-Oleum. But that's all I'm going to do on this, because if I smack the bottom of it and get a Rust-Oleum again, it's going to be easy to do. So there you go. Anyway, so quick and dirty. Well, that's paint it. Actually, the paint laid on there pretty good, man. No runs, glossy. But what I got to do is go over it some red glaze spot putty, because there's like a couple little gouges or some crap in the sandpaper, and I knew there's a tiny little hole right here from rust. I'm going to fill that in, but not with Bondo, but with that 3M panel adhesive and coat it on the inside. It's like probably 1/8 inch hole or some shit. But that's how I'm going to do it. Anyway, I figure this is a wrap for now, because there was no forecast for rain yesterday, and there was this freaking 15-minute hellacious thunderstorm. That's why I want to get paint on this shit. So anyway, that's how I'm doing this shit in pieces. So next step is to get up there on the top. I just come out here for a couple hours at a time and do some stuff, and that's it. And that's the way. Let me tell you this: doing something is better than doing nothing. There's new metal in it. The welds aren't really good. You know, well, it's strong now. They're porous, but I filled them in with that 3M panel adhesive. There's no water infiltration from the back. On the back side, I'm going to put the. That's going to take me 2 seconds to do that. The rust converter primer. Then I'm going to hit it with rubberized undercoating. So the door should not rust out. It should stay good. Anyway, but it's not going to look perfect. But you're not going to notice that shit on the bottom. It doesn't look bad actually. From you know, if you just get back a little bit, I mean, I really can't tell unless I'm right up to it. If I was looking at the car from 5-10 feet away, I wouldn't even know it. So it's all right.